Hey there everybody, and welcome back to more Silent Hill 2. I'm still Negaroth, and as we are in a reasonably nice little quaint place here, I suppose we should probably switch away from the chainsaw, go with something a little bit more quiet. And it's time to learn about some of the backstory of Silent Hill. You know, it's a resort town, it's a nice little quaint place. I'm sure it's got no horrible back history to it. I think this is supposed to be the development team from Konami. I'm sure somebody out there will be able to fill me in more about that, but it looks like we have a missing painting here. Thankfully, though, there's a nice little note card that was left over to try and fill us in on what might have used to be here. I tried to find some more information about Alan Smith, but about the most I could find was he painted this picture. And it was apparently, as you can see from the description, supposed to be indicative of what the area of Silent Hill looked like before it was fully colonized by the white man, I suppose? Or at least recolonized. I think this was still after the initial settlers kind of ran out. For some inexplicable reason, I assume. But misty day remains of the judgment. Perhaps this gentleman is judgment, and perhaps the reason for the mist was the sheer amount of bloodshed flowing through the air. But, yeah, obviously that's Pyramid Head. His weapon is a bit different, and what look like flesh lips, but still a bit different. So, and the coal mine was actually something that apparently was the backbone of the economy outside the penal colony planned in Silent Hill during the Civil War, and Silent Hill apparently didn't switch to being a resort town until the coal mine and the prison both shut down, so apparently this wasn't always the happy-go-lucky resort town it tried to sell itself to be. But as you can see, James is quite drawn to something here in this smashed case. And it's actually going to be another item, which I think is 3 out of 4 items for one of the special endings you can only get after beating the game, I think, at least once or twice. But it is a black cup of pure evil, or something. I think there's quite a few religions out there that really symbolize the snake as a form of evil, the most obvious being Christianity, with it being connected to original sin and the devil. But as to what it has to do with the ritual, I'm not sure exactly what the snake represents, especially considering animism and Native American cultures. But even though the first 2 pieces of art hung up on the wall were actually not very interesting, it appears the next couple will actually have stuff of interest, such as this original photograph of the Brookhaven Hospital when it was used as a place to handle the plague carriers that I guess were immigrants and not definitely from the already present Native American terror. And we have a picture of the director of the Brookhaven Hospital. I'm not sure if this Japanese fellow was the one sending us the disheartening letters and the wrench, but it might have been. And we got a picture of a hole. As to what this hole is supposed to be or represent, I don't know, but we have a much more definite hole to represent something, which is our progression through the game, and our possible descent into madness. Wow, that was quite a distance into madness, I'll say that much. Yeah, that was about 30 seconds, but I actually felt I really enjoyed the sound effects going on in the background. It kind of sounded like a foghorn. But as to where it has taken us from the Historical Society, one can only assume, but there's some paperwork here for us to look at, and it actually kind of gives some allusion to where we might be. Prison records from the early 1800s. Well, we got some impression that Silent Hill used to be a penal colony, but something definitely happened to the prison, you know, especially between the early 1800s and up until, I think, the early 1900s. But as to whether or not we're actually in the prison right now, I'm not exactly sure. You start to get the impression, especially with the barred doors and barred windows and Spartan aesthetic, I suppose, of the overall place, that this could definitely be a prison, but it doesn't really give the full effect of a prison, I'll say. It may just be the general processing area where prisoners would be taken in and their paperwork would be done. They'd be given their orange jumpsuits or whatever prison garb may be, required for the time. And actually, they never do mention the fact of whether or not the Toluca prison was actually a maximum or minimum security prison. But I think we're going to get a little bit more backstory from these three pictures here. This right here is just going to be a picture of the prison camp back when it was originally built during the Civil War. I assume whenever it became a prison, the feel of the place might have become drastically different, or it might have been the exact same. This particular picture right here is actually representing, I guess, one of the forms of execution available at the prison. Apparently there were only two. One of them was strangulation. Another was impalement. I think I would actually choose strangulation. Hoping to get one's neck snapped is a little bit better than having a rod shoved up through your butthole. And this last picture is a bit hard to see, but you will notice that one of the main points of focus, I suppose, is the gentleman in the white robe and the red pointed hood. If you can recall someone that we end up seeing quite a bit in a red pointed hood, then you've been paying attention during the game, I'll say that much. But let's go ahead and get away from those horrible pictures of people getting impaled, and let's jump down a fucking hole. Oh, James, you are a never-ending font of good ideas. But we are apparently stuck down this very large hole in the ground, for lack of a better word. And for the most part, it seems like you might be stuck here, but enough searching and you will find a different part of the wall. And with enough hits, the wall will come crashing down to expose a door. As to why someone would want to brick and mortar up a door, well, in most cases, and in the case of the Edgar Allan Poe classic story, the Cask of Monteliago. I'm probably butchering that name, but basically to no longer have to deal with something, a gentleman was brick and mortared up into the wall. So usually it's a case of not wanting to deal with something or to forget the past. And as to where we're still going, it's kind of hard to say, especially after the numerous descents we've already had in the game. I mean, there was the 30-second trek down a very steep downgrade, and then there was inexplicably jumping down a hole. And especially considering the fact that the hole was presented in a picture in the Historical Society is especially questionable. Maybe it was some destination for solitary confinement back whenever the prison was originally used. But yet again, it seems like a part of the Silent Hill history that most of the town wishes to forget. Meanwhile, in an M.C. Escher painting, we have a locked door in the floor. And let's, well, we don't really have a key for that, but we do have one other door we can check. And what do you know? There's a key waiting for us. But wouldn't you know it, after all this running around, just leaving our flashlight on, the batteries finally died. You know, thankfully though, in the alternate world hospital, we did manage to pick up a battery in the wall. And, you know, we can go ahead and pop that into our flashlight and everything will be bright as day. Even though I don't know if you guys with bug phobias will actually want that to happen now that the room is filled with bugs. But after some finagling, basically these lit up keys, some particular combination of them will finally work, but as to what that combination is, it's just trial and error. Also, it's best not to waste too much time in there, as those bugs will infinitely respawn, but, you know, then, now that we have this key, we can, you know, go ahead and open this door. But the key actually has something interesting engraved on it. "'Tis doubt which leadeth thee to purgatory." Yet again, dealing with uncertainty in the afterlife. It's a very strong feeling throughout the game. But enough waxing upon that. Let's go ahead and let James do something stupid again.
Killing a person ain't no big deal. Just put the gun to their head. Pow.
You killed him?
But it wasn't my fault. He made me do it.
Calm down, Eddie. Tell me what happened.
That guy, he had it coming. I didn't do anything. He just came after me. Besides, he was making fun of me with his eyes, like that other one.
Just for that, you killed him?
What do you mean, just for that?
Eddie, you can't just kill someone because of the way they looked at you.
Oh yeah? Why not? Till now I always let people walk all over me. Just like that stupid dog. He had it coming too.
Eddie?
I was just joking, James. He was dead when I got here, honest. Anyway, I gotta run.
You're going out there alone?
Yeah.
Eddie?
But yeah, with that, welcome to Toluca Lake Prison. We'll see you next time.